Hey everyone, welcome to hopefully my third and final video over Blight. Been doing a lot of farming and as a result, getting myself a headhunter. I figured I'd start the stream right now to kind of showcase what kind of money you can earn with Blight by proof. And that's sort of the crux of this video, is I really want to prove what I'm talking about here. So actually this video is going to be a little bit longer. It's going to be... oh, I guess he doesn't want this stuff back. It's going to be about an hour long because I'm actually going to run maps for an hour. As I am boasting 7x per hour, I think this this particular farming strategy can do. I don't know, this guy... oh, I guess he's gone. He doesn't want it. Okay. Real quick though, before we get into that, big moment. More along the lines of proof. That's not where that goes. That goes right here. Boom! Headhunter. Actually, pretty good rolls on this attributes. Yeah, I'm gonna divine the hell out of this later. So, in a very good mood. Just got my headhunter for the season within the 4-week mark in less than 4 weeks. So yeah, that's out of the way. So cool, you know, opening the video, you get to see the headhunter there. You get to see 60. Those are T13, T14s, evenly split. 60 blighted maps went for 8x. Now, how quickly can you farm 60 blighted maps? You can farm them in a little over an hour, surprisingly. I farm about 50 blight maps per hour on average. And I'm going to show you how to do that, because that's a pretty high number. Most people may not realize that you can do that. As you can see, I got Excellence open here, and I'm going to take a snapshot to show you what's in the folder here. I got 24 Scarabs, 24 core maps. That's all it is. That's all it is with the, in terms of the investment. This is such a straightforward strategy. There's nothing hard to understand about this. I pre-rolled these. All I did was alch them. I did not even chisel these. I no longer feel like chiseling is even worth it. It might be, but here's how I do it. So if I am to do an hour session, I usually do more than an hour, but if I were to do an hour session, I set up my stuff like this. Let me show you just how efficient you can do this. You can usually run 22, 23, maybe 24 maps. I'm going to try to push it and hit 24 maps in 1 hour. And one last go at Excellence here to clear the thing per hour. You can see the icon down there. 330C is what we're starting with. So whatever that number comes out to after an hour, 330C minus whatever it is. Set that up there. Yeah. So in the middle of this video, I'm actually going to deny a 1x sale for that. So here we go. 513. I'm going to wait actually for a second till that hits 514. The moment that hits 514, I'm going. I really didn't care what this rolled, what the maps rolled. I got 4 Mitogenic Watchstones tier 1. Suffixes don't really matter. Gotta run the Mitogenic on core. And again, I'm waiting for this to hit 14. So we're gonna run maps, try to get all 24 in. We're basically gonna run them until 4:15. Basically, 4:15 will be the absolute deadline. Once this 3:14 flips over, I am going. And yeah, I'll go. First thing I'm going to talk about in this video is kind of just the nitty-gritty tips and tricks you can do to really increase efficiency. I want you to watch exactly how I do this, just to see just how fast you can go in. Having a good computer helps. That's the first trick. Now you see I got Delirium up here. Delirium's actually pretty common because you'd be surprised to learn that actually I'm running Blight and Delirium. Now, when I did my first couple videos, I was not running Blight and Delirium. I was running Blight and Strongbox. I was running Blight and Harbinger. And for a lot of my farming, I did Blight and Harbinger. But the problem with it is Again, trying to be as efficient as you can. Without the Auspicious Watchstone, Harbinger has a habit of not really dropping very good stuff. Occasionally, you know, what you really want to see is Exalted Shards. And, you know, Ancient Shards are actually worth something this season, but even they are not terribly common. You saw exactly what I did. I hit the pump, I put the portal down, I immediately hit the button, not wasting any time. I got a good start here with 1 lane and 8 chests total. Now let's talk about the chests here. How many chests can spawn? Well, in a T14, I believe the maximum lanes is 8 natural, plus the boss, which is 9. So, and the minimum lanes, for sure, is 3. So the absolute minimum number of chests you're going to get per map is 4. That's called being unlucky. The maximum, absolute maximum natural number of chests you're going to get is 8 plus 1, 9. And the absolute maximum total chests you get if you've duplicated all chests, which I don't think you can duplicate the boss chest, but you can duplicate the natural lane chest. The maximum will be 9 times 2 plus 1, which would be, 8 times 2 plus 1, which would be a total of 17 chests. And I have actually seen 17 chests once, one time ever in like many hours of fun. So that would be super rare. That would be like hitting a jackpot, basically. Pretty cool if it happens. But you know what? I do somewhat frequently see 13 chests, 14, 15 chests. That can happen, of course. And here we got 8. That's not a bad start. What makes this strategy so incredible is the chance of it dwindling down to 1 lane like this. And as a result, you have such a high chance of getting blighted maps. Now, as you can see there, I only got 1 blighted map. That's actually quite unlucky for 8 blight oil map chests. I've come to learn that the statistical odds with a Gilded Scarab, which gives you 50% more contents of your chest, with a Gilded Scarab, you're looking at, on average, I think 2 blighted maps per every 7 chests. Which means you're going to get on average I should mention that the average number of blighted chests per map you're going to get is about 6. Little less, between 5 and 6. I did a lot of testing on this. My second video actually displayed some of the testing there. When I did the formal test, it came out to 5.8 blight oil chests per map on core with Mitogenic Watchstones. It was less than 5 with exotic Watchstones. So Mitogenic Watchstones is absolutely better. I actually forgot to, completely forgot to get my Delirium rewards from the last map, which was happened because I'm distracted. That's okay, it's not that big of a deal. Let's talk about exactly how I set up the towers. Try to be as efficient as I can, make this informative as I can as you're watching. It's better to actually see what I'm doing rather than me just explain it, but if I can explain it while you're watching it, maybe it'll make a lot of sense to you. Now, when I first started doing Blight, and up to this season, I always ran the Scout Towers. You know, with the anointment on your ring, Scout Towers do 25% more damage. It's a good baseline to start with. It's good. It's especially good if you, as your character, is very weak. And maybe it's really good on, like, actual Blighted maps. I don't know. But, here, you might be noticing just how fast I'm attacking. It looks like I have a quill vein, right, to be attacking this fast. But if you open up my inventory, you'll see I do not have a quill vein. I have a standard, you know, good quality bow. It's like a 6x, I don't know, 5x bow or something, 6x bow. And what's the deal? Why am I attacking so fast? Well, I'm attacking so fast because you see I have the temporal towers down. Temporal towers slow the monsters as they go through. It's actually terrific for that reason. Just its baseline effect slows the monsters. Makes it very easy in terms of giving me time to not be completely blindsided by a lane. You know, monsters just come flying in. Because that's about the only way I ever fail a Blight, is if I get totally blindsided on one side of the Blight, and I don't even see it coming. That's less likely to happen when monsters are slow. But check out the anoints. Your temporal towers also grant you 20% action speed. Action speed is one of the most powerful stats. I mean, you know how powerful Tailwind is. That's action speed. Everybody wants Tailwind, right? Because action speed is one of probably the single most overpowered stat in the whole game, potentially. I got 40% because I have it anointed on both. 40%! And here's the thing, I'm getting more than 40% because if you put those towers inside an empowered tower, that actually affects your anointments too. And so where I have like a baseline 5 attacks per second, roughly, with all my buffs up, it's almost doubled. It's almost doubled. If I'm under the empowered tower at the same time as the just one of the temporal towers with my anointments, my attack speed is actually over 9, I think. The funny thing is I can't actually see what my attack speed is because it doesn't, for some reason attack speed does not show up on the, I'll even prove it right now here. Okay, so you see my attacks per second on my primary ability is 5.26, okay? Now I'm going to set up an empower tower here, and you can see how fast I'm attacking. Pretty fast, right? So I'm going to get a tier 3 empower tower first, because that actually increases my attack speed well by roughly 10 to 15%. I can't remember the exact number. A little bit more juice. Boom. Okay, and now it's going to go 5.62. It looks like maybe like a 10% increase. And you can see I'm attacking a little bit faster, right? Now watch what happens. Watch how much faster I attack now with this tower right here. Oh my god. Just machine gunning the same. It's really, honestly, it would be hilarious to use a Quill Rain and this setup too. Now the tower is affecting, the empowered tower is affecting me for 10% more attack speed, and it's affecting the tower, which is actually boosting its effects, including the anointment on the ring, I believe. Hard to confirm when the stats don't show up, but like this number should be like 9 right now. It should be like 9. So yeah, highly recommend temporal towers with that setup. The only time I would use something else is if my character is a super league start situation. My character is very weak, and I really need minion towers to kill stuff. Like, I'm just super weak. But here's the thing, Toxic Rain is actually really good. I got 4 maps there, that's pretty good. Toxic Rain is actually really good at Blight. I didn't realize how good it was. I used to run a Burning Arrow Elementalist, and I loved that for farming Blight. And definitely a different playstyle when you switch over to Toxic Rain. But the ability to just perma-nuke a portal like that is... it's just so awesome. And especially when there's only one lane, it's literally relaxing, like just total dad mode. Like you just stand in there and I just lean back and just hold right click down. I will actually go into so much detail as to what buttons are pressed or whatever. I have my totems. I am running Withered on Totem, Ballista Totem, Focus Totem. Super good for this particular strat because everything stands still. Don't have to worry about stuff moving out of the way. But yeah, I have that on my space bar. So, you know, I put one totem down, it's like boom. By the way, action speed affects your totem placement speed too, so it's just super nice because you obviously gotta keep putting your totems down periodically, and it's almost instant when you have that much action speed. Look how frequent one lane is. I'm actually getting a little bit lucky, if anything. Whoa. You also, after doing this for a while, you learn the range. Now, I think the absolute best setup is this right here, what I have right here. So I have the minions at tier 1, which they're just there to block the monsters from moving at all. You know, it's not real consistent, they don't always work. So this, however, does always work. So long as it's not the matching minion type. Temporal Tower persistently slows monsters, does not damage enemies. The unfortunate aspect of this tower is it does not function if the monsters are not in range. The monsters are in range right. This is actually maximum range here. If the monsters never reach the tower or within the radius of the tower, they will not actually trigger the tower's effects, and I will not get boosted on my damage. So that's something to keep in mind. Might as well put this up to tier 3 when I can. There we go. The boss spawned and died already. I didn't even realize. I barely even caught when he spawned because it's just so much. Now, my gear is decent. I'm going to put my POB down below and you can see my gear. My gear might be better than yours. Honestly, I could be running a 5-link full rain instead of the bow I have, and it would make almost no difference. It would make some difference on the Delirium, but it would make almost no difference otherwise. Okay, still got a few Blighted maps. So yeah, that's a lot to do with the tower setup. And if you've ever been annoyed by, like, when you get the minion portals, oh my god, my minion towers don't do anything against them. I used to be super annoyed by that. Well, now it doesn't matter. Now the worst kind of portal you get is actually the strength, or the one with the fist Blight tower, and that's the worst one you can get. But even that doesn't matter, because actually the tower still triggers when those minions go in. Doesn't matter what kind of minions it is. If they go next to that tower, it will trigger. Now, it won't slow them down, but it will give me my much coveted attack speed boost, which is what I care about very much. So yeah, that kind of concludes what I want to say with the towers. One little thing, one little trick is some of the monster portals are very dangerous, particularly the fire one. They have projectiles that can just kill you, like, without you barely even seeing what happened. If you actually stand between the tower and the portal, projectiles get deflected. Projectiles get deflected. I'll show you what I mean. So this is the easiest case scenario. The minion tower does nothing particular except ignores the path, which doesn't matter because I'm just going to completely ignore that. So take a look at this. I can actually stand really far away. I don't have to stand right here. I'm standing right here because I'm being lazy, and one big trick to surviving this and not dying and being successful is to stand kind of max range where you need to. Now look where I'm standing. See, there's a tower in between here. So if these monsters were actually nuking me right now, which they are, if they are the maybe lightning type or definitely fire type, they have projectiles that just mass nuke. They won't hit me if I'm standing here. They won't hit me. You see what I'm doing? I just got right click down, and I'm just holding right click, and then whoop, hit space bar, hold it down for a second. That puts down 3 towers again. You can see how fast I put down the, or sorry, 3 ballistas. You can see how fast I put the ballistas down. It's almost instant. So yeah, now that pretty well concludes what I want to talk about with the tower setup, and I'll talk more about that when I actually get a harder encounter that spawns more than one lane. We'll revisit that a little bit on slight variations to the plan, but I mean, when it's like this, I mean, I don't, honestly, I could put 0 towers down, it would make no difference. I don't even need a tower. But, you know, might as well, for consistency's sake, you know, do what you should do. So this map's already almost over, and yeah. Let me talk a little bit about big picture. Big picture question. Why should you do this? Why do this farm? Obviously, if I'm boasting, you know, 7x per hour, 6x or more per hour, if you, even with bad RNG, this strat's consistent enough, guarantee you're going to make at least 6x per hour at the current rate. Let's say, let's compare this strat next to other strats that are more meta. Take, for example, Magic Finding, low tier, or Nemesis 3, you know, one of the most popular ones. They have the potential to make more. However, I will say I did do Tower Tier 3 and Tower Tier 6 farming quite successfully without a Headhunter, and you know, reaching 300 stacks, no problem. You know, polished Scarabs, Divination Scarabs. I was getting like 1 nurse card every 8 or 9 or 10 maps. Kind of like, you know, the best numbers that I was seeing on the internet. Looked like I was doing everything right. I was getting things like Chevron's wrappings periodically just from the pure amount of quantity of magic find. And I was using excellence and I was checking everything. Now here we go. I'm going to pause while I'm saying that because what we're going to see here now is actually one of the more difficult layouts that Core can give. This is going to be 3 prongs. It's going to spawn in all 3 sides. This is like worst case scenario. This is as hard as it ever gets right here. So we got 3 fairly close prongs, and I'm putting down I'm getting my temporal towers set up. It's not a big deal. There's no bosses coming out yet. I have time. I have time to set this up the way I want to. I know this one on the bottom right is not going to give me much trouble anymore because it's temporal towers there. The one on the top right is also set up now. And okay, there you go. You see all that nuke? This map is actually rolled with multiple projectiles enemies. That means I actually have to pay attention, or I could potentially seriously die right here. Or if there was a tower I could stand behind, that would be nice. But there actually is no tower. I suppose I could stand behind that tower. So I got all the temporals down. I'll get 1 of those set. Okay, that's good. I have a couple more towers left. I mean, I can make these minion towers, I guess, just for good measure. Although I don't want to get too distracted. Doesn't really matter. Bosses melt. Oh. Of course, when the boss is this kind, that sucks. But Toxic Rain's really good for dealing with that particular mechanic, and he just dies over and over again. Okay, there we go. That's done. Some more maps. Getting reasonably good RNG here on the maps. I had that bad RNG in the first map. It's kind of being made up for now. So there you go. You get to see what that is. And when I first started doing this, when my gear was worse, this particular layout that you just saw was kind of the only one that I would ever fail, because I just got overwhelmed, or I couldn't handle the speed or whatever. Not enough damage. You know, back when I was using a 5-lane Quill Rain, I would sometimes fail that. But this is a T14, not a T16, and you're only dealing with like maximum 3 separate lanes. If it's an open map, you could have lanes coming in actually up to like 5 separate directions, all close spawned all at once. And it's just, you know, if you're not really on top of your game, you almost don't even have time to get the tower set up because it's so fast. It comes in and you know, you either handle it yourself or you don't. So yeah, so that was a good showcasing of kind of the harder setup that occasionally happens. See, it can only be 3 separate directions because every time this spawns, there's only 3 aisles. It's never a 4-way stop. It's only 3-way, 2-way or 3-way max. I'm not even gonna have minion towers. Now there's a fire tower up there. That one concerns me a little bit. This bottom right hand, especially because I got the temporal tower set up there on top of it. That's going to give me no trouble at all unless I get blindsided by some reason. The top left tower is the one that concerns me. Here's a case where it would be wise to stand where I stand. The problem is I need to clear this stuff down here too. Now see, you're getting to see this, and now there, right, I'm so glad this is happening right now. So you can actually see the towers. I can actually just kill this stuff right here like this. The range is crazy. I do have a Carcass Jack. I think it helps a bit. You're seeing these minions nuking me, right? Now that... Oh, I almost, yeah. I'm doing things a little bit differently than I would. Normally I would actually move back and forth there, and I just evade the projectiles. The fire monsters do have things like lava burst that can go underground and, you know, hit you behind the tower, but really, anyway, you at least got to see it firsthand. The power of standing behind the tower, like literally. Now I got the sort of 1 in 100 spawn Scarab one. This is a little bit lucky. That's very rare to see the Scarabs. Might skew the results a tiny bit, but actually not crazy, I don't think. The fact that I spawned Scarabs there kind of makes up for the fact that I completely forgot to pick up the Delirium reward from the first map. So yeah. Hopefully that, because why am I doing Delirium? I was doing Strongbox for a while, and I swear to God, I did like 100 maps. I didn't see a single 6-link from the corrupted rare strongbox. And I would sometimes find 2 or 3 per map, sometimes find 0. Didn't pass it. Then I started doing Harbinger. Ancient orbs kept going up in value. Occasionally I get exalted orbs, and I did that for a long time. But then I got to thinking, you know, killing the Harbinger, like when it's a regular Harbinger, it feels like a complete waste of time. When it's like the Prince Harbinger, sometimes it comes out. And I was getting to a point where I was skipping the Harbinger even. Unless it was a King Harbinger. And the King Harbinger takes a little extra time to kill. Legion, totally not worth doing, by the way. Essence, not worth checking. I'm just running by these things. So, the King Harbinger would usually drop, like, I don't know, like 4 Ancient Shards would be kind of like what I would get out of it. It would be dropping Chaos Shards and stuff, and it's just completely worthless. Only the Ancient Annulment Shards worth a tiny bit. It's just bad. And I was like, you know what? I'm done with the Harbinger. It's just not even worth it. So I decided Delirium. Occasionally, the map spawned the Delirium mirror, and I just I realized that I don't really need to like do extra work to get anything out of the Delirium. I just need to do exactly what I'm doing. I need to go around, you know, just kill little stuff as I go, let my Mirage Archer kill as I go, and I find the Blight. And then the beautiful thing about Delirium and Blight is that they work so well together. It completely pauses the mirror, so I don't even have to worry about it. The timer or whatever. Oh my god. Wow, that guy flew through there. Okay, that's on me, actually. I should have had that set up already. For some dumb reason, I'm, you know, talking too much. This is the really annoying type where they like burrow and then they come back out later, and I have to frickin' stand here and wait for this stuff. Okay, good, that's done. So, back to Delirium. We're going to see more Delirium because I'm actually running. I'm running Blight and I'm running Delirium. And this is how I chose to set up. All I want is maximum chance to spawn a mirror. There's an inherent 8% chance, and I have +9. So I have a 17% chance per map to spawn Delirium mirror. And it doesn't slow me down in any way, really. I mean, almost none. Like, killing a King Harbinger slows me down more than performing my normal function of doing Blight encounters inside a mirror. So I'd much prefer to do that. I will actually take a split second and pick up a contract. not that crazy. But you can see me, I'm just flying through here. I don't think your defensive setup matters very much. I have Immortal Call, it's on left click. You can do that if you like. It doesn't really matter. Quite often I'm just standing there and just right clicking. I don't even have left click on. Oh, I completely forgot to start the thing. So I lost like 10 seconds there by forgetting to hit the button. It's quite difficult actually to like talk about constructive informative information and to also try to be, you know, performing this efficiently. Not an easy thing, I must admit. But I kind of know this strat like the back of my hand, so, you know, you won't have to talk in a stream while you do it, but you won't know it like the back of your hand. So you can kind of call that even. I was talking about big picture. I paused the conversation a little bit on big picture. So big picture, I was talking about comparing this with other strategies, and I was doing farming tower, tier 6 especially, having great success to it, I think. It was not a particularly consistent flow of income, but it had some RNG. It felt like something like between, I don't know, between 3 and 8x per hour, maybe. Something like that. 3 and 8x per hour. It's pretty consistent. I guess within a 3 to 8x per hour threshold. Okay. But even aside from literal nurse cards and the occasional exalt, everything else I was getting was like super annoying to sell. Like it was just bubblegum currency. It was like weird stuff like odd uniques and I don't know. It's just all fossils. All kinds of random stuff. Don't get me wrong. It was useful stuff. It's stuff that you can sell, but the idea, I was like getting to the point where I was like, okay, I need to start taking what I have and converting it into cash currency. How do I do that? And it was just kind of a daunting task. Think about it. And I already knew how to do that with Blight. It was incredibly, and it kind of provided new light on the value of Blight and just how easy it is to, in terms of like currency cash flow, to take what you find when you're farming and turn it into currency. How quickly and efficiently can you do that? It scores really high marks, way higher than tower farming or Nemesis 3 as well. Just kind of, and other various farming. It's just, for all the different farming methods out there now that are considered sort of higher tier, which I guess, I don't know how I would categorize that. Maybe this league, anything that can reliably get you at least like 4 to 5x per hour, without a headhunter, mind you, which is not very many strategies I think out there that can do that. I haven't seen that many. Magic finding the tower map is one that can pretty consistently get you at least like 4x an hour, but this one's just so easy going with the with turning over your profit and actually getting your currency from what you find. It's almost exclusively blighted maps. The other things will include oils, of course, particularly the high tier oils you can convert over pretty easily, which I've done. I actually have mine listed for above market value, and I sell a few each day. And if I ever get to a point where I'm like, okay, I want to liquidate this stuff, I can either bulk sell my Blight tab on TFT, or I can just put everything down at like 95% market value, and it's just instantly going to sell. Like almost all of it will instantly sell. Maybe not the low tier stuff, but yeah, the high tier stuff for sure. I've been selling golden oils for well over 50 C a piece, silver oils for like, I don't know, 16, 17 C a piece. That's actually above market if you check the markets right now, but they sell at that price. Crimson oils at like 5 or 6 C a piece, especially in bulk. That one will sell really well. So I like to sell everything at above market value. So, you might be looking at what I'm finding and you're thinking, that doesn't seem quite as valuable as you're making it out to, Stu. But trust me, if you're selling things the way you should be, you're getting above market value prices for it. If you go to TFT right now and you check the bulk maps sale and you check Blight in there, what you're going to find is that people are selling blighted maps, T13 and above, a combination, for pretty consistently at a price of about 18 chaos a piece. But if you check, okay, here, I'm going to take a chance and kill this guy. Because I have the unique cluster jewel mod on that, I do actually want to kill bosses if I see them. If you check the price of a T13, it comes out to on like Awakener app, it comes out to like I don't know, what is it, like 12 or 13 C a piece. T14s you check, they're like 16 C a piece, but it's a total lie. Like, this stuff sells for way more than that. I can consistently sell my maps for like, like 30 T13s, 30 T14s. I'm gonna sell that for, I don't know, roughly 18 to 19 C a piece. So yeah, I like this setup. Now watch what I do here. This is kind of advanced, what I'm about to do right now. I can still see the monsters, I can see, and boom, I'm back. They can't go anywhere, right? Set up my tower this time. And go back in and clear some Scourge. I'm doing Scourge basically. The only reason I'm doing Scourge is so that I get more Delirium. And I'm not losing any time at all. Like the fact that stuff is spawning and I'm not killing it instantly does not actually add to the timer in any way. You can keep going into the Scourge realm if you want to kill the fresh Scourge that come up each time. Of course, I am trying not to die. I'll talk about that in a minute here, but I want to kind of showcase. Right now, I'm showcasing exactly how to handle Delirium. This is only for more advanced, what I'm doing here. You don't have to be going into the Scourge realm, obviously. But, you know, if you want to be doing it. Like, I'm not losing any time right now, unless that happens. So if I screw that up, then you see that happen. So I took a bit of a chance and it did not pay off. I really shouldn't have done that. I was trying to push the limit. But anyway, you can kind of see me getting some clusters here and a Delirium orb, which is really valuable. So the fact that I just failed and guaranteed 8 Blight oil chesting is probably going to make the difference between me succeeding or failing at hitting the 7x per hour mark. That will probably make the difference, because that's how important it is that you don't fail Blight. So it's more important that you don't do what I just did. And I got no problem showing me failing at a Blight encounter. There's no, in fact, it's a good thing. You can see, you know, I show you exactly what to do. It's even better if I can show you exactly what not to do. And that is pushing your luck too much. You kind of get the general idea. You kind of figure it out over time. If you have a well-geared character that can handle Delirium. You see, I didn't do anything extra, and I got a free Delirium orb out of it. That's at least 20 chaos. I also get cluster jewels that could be valuable. You know, we got cluster jewel bases out there that are worth at least an exalt. For example, an 8 passive large cold damage cluster is actually worth an exalt as a base. The same with the physical damage one, I think, is worth about an exalt. So that's and you're gonna get those sometimes. Like, you're gonna find enough cluster jewels, you're eventually gonna get things like that. You can find random, like, half decent value uniques, like I just got there. So here we got kind of my first map that you're getting to see the power of the exotic, or sorry, the Mitogenic Watchstone. I have 15 chests coming to me in 2 separate lanes. Now that's impossible with any Watchstones other than Mitogenic, because, again, like, if you're not running Mitogenic, the maximum number of chests you're going to ever see on this map is 9. That's 8 plus 1 with the boss, 9. But here I have 15, which means, as a bare minimum, my Watchstones procced 5 chests this map, bare minimum. And they have like a 24% chance per chest to proc it. And I think it procs them individually, not like collectively, I think. That's because if it did it collectively, I would never end up with an even number with the boss. And I sometimes have, you know, 15, sometimes 16, sometimes 17. Probably actually set up my towers. Playing here without doing my towers at all. Kind of dumb. So that Blight I failed there, I didn't fail that because I was talking too much. I was very aware about what I was doing. They just came flooding out of that portal faster than I expected. I was away. But hey, that's okay. What's the next thing I'm going to talk about? The next thing is, okay, moving back to big picture. I keep kind of getting around that topic a little bit. Oh yeah, this chest is garbage. So it's not even worth my time checking those. They're almost never any good. But I absolutely will come in here and take all of these. So I consider there to be 3 major factors, and I did actually talk about this in my second video. There are 3 major factors why you would want to do this farm. What makes this farm better than the meta magic finding tower or whatever? What makes this potentially better for you than doing Nemesis 3? Actually 4 if you count one thing. So there is one thing in particular that I wasn't not going to mention, but the fact that this strat does not in any way particularly benefit, not in any major way, benefit from having super great gear. You do not need 100x plus gear. You do not need a Headhunter. You don't need a Mage Blood. You don't even need 30x of gear. You need maybe, you know, maybe 10. No, not even that. Maybe like 2 or 3x of gear to actually succeed at what I'm doing right here. Once you hit like sort of the 10 to 20x threshold, your gear should be good enough to a point where you don't need. If you fail, it's on you. Like you messed up if you failed the Blight encounter. And you don't have to be Toxic Rain. Now this is kind of the toxic, you know, quote unquote Toxic Rain edition raider running through the map like super fast. If you're a slow moving character, you can still do 20 maps per hour. So I can do at least 22 maps per hour. You can do close to that. You can do at least 20 per hour. And how many Blighted maps can you expect to get, and how many regular maps? Well, the answer is more than 2. A little bit more than 2. You can expect, doing on Core with Mitogenic Watchstones, you can expect roughly 5 or more Blight Oil chests per map, and that's going to translate to, on average, at least 2 maps, Blighted maps, per map that you do. And that's how you turn a profit. And, you know, if you think of it that way, then you know you're going to be making currency on average. Yeah, occasionally you're going to have a map that's a total dud. It's going to drop no Blighted maps at all, and you're going to lose money, and it's going to feel kind of bad for a second. And then, you know, later on you're going to do a Blighted map, and you're going to get like 8 Blight maps to drop off one encounter. And you're going to be like, holy crap, this is the best strat ever. You know, it all evens out. You get 2 to 3... 2 to 3... Blighted maps per map on average. You can check my second video if you want more proof on that. By the way, just for the record, I will stop and do harvest if I find it. I'm not going to do it during this test because this is a particular test and trying to prove how many maps you can do in an hour. So if I do see a harvest, I'm literally going to skip it right now. But generally speaking, I do a harvest, and I don't always. A lot of times, I'll just go in and see if I find like currency exchange, you know, Delirium orb exchange or something. I won't really care. So okay, here we go. I got the. See what kind of portals I got? They're the same matching as the tower. So you would think the tower is going to be completely ineffective, but actually, the tower does function. At least in a positive sense. So I'm getting the full power of my anointment on the ring, even though it is the opposing tower type that shouldn't be giving me any bonus. This would not be happening if it was minion portals with minion towers. I would not be getting any benefit from my anointments whatsoever. So it's just a small little thing that you know, you can feel a little bit better about your anointment. That's going to be one of the biggest takeaways for you guys, I think, is the fact that this tower is so good. It not only slows down the monsters, it's not slowing these monsters down because it doesn't have any effect on them particularly, but it is, normally it's slowing monsters down, and then it's also speeding me up. So here was a map that was a total dud. I got like 3 oils and a scouring orb or something from that map. So I lost money on that map by itself. That's okay. I'm gonna more than make up for it with the rest of the maps. Actually, I forgot exactly what time I started. 12. I have exactly 20 minutes left to try and do the rest of these maps. Again, it's 4:13 is my absolute deadline. 4:13. I gotta be done by then. Should be finishing it somewhere around the 4:12 mark. I really don't even need to be killing this stuff, actually. Oh, I will gladly take that shrine. That's my favorite shrine. Ah! Okay, for sure. Oh, wall, a door. How fast can you go? I wish I could go that fast every game. Okay, this is not... This is kind of a typical outcome right here. You got the 2 in one direction, 1 in the other. There's only 2 paths available here. So again, I keep talking about the big picture. There are 3 things that... Sorry, I keep getting distracted. Let's do that. I'm gonna get through it this time. There are 3 things, 3 particular reasons you might want to do this farm. 1, I already talked about it, the ease of trading what you find into raw currency. It's so easy. It's so much easier than magic finding stuff you find in there. You know, trading uniques. You're just trading in bulk, blighted maps, and to a lesser extent, foils. And, you know, you're getting a few little things in the way, like Delirium orbs if you're doing what I'm doing, or, you know, currency shards if you're doing Harbinger, 6 links if you're doing about... All of that stuff is really easy to turn over for profit. Particularly since like 80% or maybe 85% of the profit you make is going to be from blighted maps. That's how powerful and how much of the currency you're getting from there. So that's 1. 2, how long do you think it took me to set this up? I had to buy the Watchstones. That's nothing, because that's a permanent thing. Did I use any Sextands? Do you remember seeing any Sextands? No, I haven't done any Sextands at all. So that's completely moot. And what about like all the Scarabs and the prophecies and all that stuff? Oh, I'm only using 1 Scarab. What about like re-rolling the maps? Gotta get rid of our nemesis. Gotta get the map scourged properly. Gotta have the right scourge. No, none of that. None of that. Literally none of that. I'm not even doing the Scourge realm outside of Delirium, just to add a little more juice to my Delirium. I'm not doing the Scourge realm. So, you know, if you're dead set on doing the Scourge realm, this strat's not for you. But, you know, this isn't... A lot of people don't want to do the Scourge realm, so actually I think that's going to be more appealing, than, if anything. So that's number 2. The prep time is super easy. Each map costs about 10C. Each Scarab costs about 10C. To run a map, it's about 20C. It's been the same since the start of the league. The prices of core has been around 10C a piece. Scarabs have been around 10C a piece, maybe a little higher, a little lower. And you know what? You're not going to sustain the map because you're not doing the map boss. We're not even clearing most of the stuff. So you do have to buy the maps. You have to buy them in bulk. I buy like 30 or 40 at a time. Same with the Scarabs, 10, 20, 30 at a time. And, you know, I'm definitely not lying when I say you can get everything you need in bulk super quick at roughly the value of 20 chaos per map. Yeah, put the wrong total there. So that's 2. So we got the ease of trading, converting what you farm into raw currency, and then we got the ease of prep, which is incredibly easy to prep this. And the third reason you want to do this is leveling. Surprise, surprise, I just leveled. Check it out, I just leveled. Now, you may level sometimes, you know, when you're doing regular farming, but farming is not particularly dangerous. So that's great, you know, you leveled up and, you know, you leveled from like, what, like 88 to 89 level. But typically, you know, once you get to a certain level, you can't level anymore because you're dying too much. The penalty of death is too great to overtake how efficiently you can farm and gather experience. But with this strategy, once you get good at it, and your gear is at least decent enough, again, defenses barely matter at all. I mean, how often am I actually getting hit, right? And again, my POV's linked. I am running, you know, some defensive flasks and stuff. I have a pretty nice setup, don't get me wrong. But, and I do die. Like, the last level I died, I think, 3 times total. So what level do you think I am right now, if you're not aware yet? I just leveled up naturally. I leveled up doing this entirely. I did not buy any 5-way carries. I haven't done that. I plan to do that probably, you know, to finish out to 100. But whereas like last season, my cap last season was like 95. I think I leveled up to 95 naturally, and then I couldn't get any higher. And that's pretty typical for a lot of people. This season is a whole lot better. I am now level 98. 98. Oh, wow. That's very lucky there. That's a lot of maps. Okay, that kind of helps make up for the one that I failed. Oh, even another. Oh my god. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 maps. I think my my record is 9 maps in one encounter. I just got 8 maps in 9 blighted chests. Is pretty good. But that does happen sometimes. You saw I had another map earlier that got me 0. I've had maps where I ran like 4 in a row that got me 0. I think each blight chest has about a 20% chance of giving you a map. Or 2 maps in case you're doing this. So, yeah. So third reason to run this thing is you can level naturally. You don't have to buy 5 ways, at least not till the very end. I don't know what your leveling goal is, but when you first start doing this, do expect to die and fail blight encounters some. And I should mention now that failing the blight is costly. It is costing you, like, because you're not getting anything out of the map really if you fail. The one map I failed, I did actually get Delirium Orb, so I kind of made my losses back on that one. But under most circumstances, you know, if you die, you fail. But even if you die, you don't necessarily fail the blight encounter. See how I set it up? I put the pump in, I immediately put the portal in the back, and then boom, I'm on my way. I have done this for a while, and I die sometimes. But even when I die, I rarely fail the blight encounter. I rarely fail it because I can zone right back in. CPU pending. I can zone right back in quickly. And quite often the monsters are getting close to the pump, but they haven't quite reached it. And, you know, just boom, start throwing the toxic rain down. Hadn't even got my auras up yet. Whatever. Like, you just get back in and make sure you don't lose the map. Because I definitely don't want to lose a map like this here, where I got 8 guaranteed blight oil chests. They're coming out of here really fast, actually. Despite, well, it's because I don't have a pump next to the portal. Kind of sucks. Sometimes you get the portal that doesn't have a particular spawn. They're actually the most dangerous of all because they're kind of a combination of different elements, and then, you know, they might shoot fireballs, they might shoot lightning, they might shoot poison, but then they quite often move extra fast. They spawn a lot faster, and it can be intense, but, you know, it's just one portal, so I'd probably handle it right. Wow, that's pretty. That's a beautiful thing. That's a beautiful thing. That is. Wow, it must be going slow or something because I still have like 7 maps left. So I got 10 minutes. 10 minutes to try and do this. I am going to do all the maps regardless, but we'll see how much currency I made in, exactly at the hour mark. And I'm willing to bet it's going to be at least 7x. I'm probably going to advertise this as 1,000 chaos, because that's kind of what I look at. I'm looking at the number on the bottom, you know, chaos per hour, which is actually inaccurate a lot of the time, but it's usually accurate for the first hour. Right now it says 837 chaos per hour, and that number will keep going up until I finally reach the hour, and then it'll start calculating itself. Oh my god, I almost completely didn't see this side over here. Whoops. Kinda need to do this all here. Not smart to stand on top of the monsters if you can help it, but I got behind. I think I was goofing off. Okay, that side's pretty safe now. Really? I don't have enough for that? Wow. Can't pay for the next pump yet. So I think I've managed to talk for about an hour here. I've said most of what I wanted to say. You know, I sold 60 blighted maps for 8x. I'm going to turn around and make about 50 blighted maps in an hour, which is pretty typical. Maybe 45 to 50 maps per hour. We're going to see how many I get at the end of this. I got a little hour-long, hour and 10-minute session. It's totaling 24 maps. It's about 400 chaos and investment. Very easy to set up. Very easy to sell my loot. Actually, I'm not even gonna take that. I gave you 3 very good reasons to run this strat. You can level easily, all the way up to the high 90s. You can set it up very easily. The initial prep, I mean, you gotta buy the Watchstones. Those Watchstones aren't even that expensive. They're like less than an exalt a piece. It's not like you're buying fraught Watchstones or something. And then you gotta buy the Scarabs and the maps. Only 2 things you have to buy. You don't even need to use Sextands. And then you can go to TFT and trade your maps for bulk, or you can sell them individually for a little bit less if you really want to. I don't recommend doing that. I personally recommend selling the oils individually, or in medium-sized bulk, just through the trade website, and then selling the maps on TFT. That's my recommendation. You do whatever you like. This should be a testament to any of you watching this that how much I actually enjoy doing this. I got my Headhunter now. I don't have to be doing this. I can be doing other farms now, like Nemesis 3, that will hopefully earn more currency per hour. But I enjoyed this. It didn't even burn me out. It was making the Headhunter at the time I got it was like 100 exalts, and if you were crazy enough, you could farm 100 exalts in one day doing this. It would take you like 13 or 14 hours, but I mean, at least in 2 days, you could certainly farm it. If you had 2 days of free, where you were free to do whatever you wanted on those 2 days, which most people do, unless they have like a family and stuff, which I do not have a family here. Single life for me. I'm off Thursdays and Fridays. It gives me 2 days to do whatever I want. Sometimes I hang out with friends and do stuff, but actually I usually do that on the weekends after work. So I'm not getting quite as lucky here at the end, it looks like.
I'm not up to that just yet.
Nope. 5 minutes left. See what I can do. I think I have more than 5 minutes. I'm not sure. 5 minutes seems a little off. Maybe it's right. I enjoyed the heck out of this process. I especially enjoyed min-maxing it. I liked the transition to Delirium with the higher Delirium spawn chance. That added a little bit extra fun. Granted, I did die occasionally because of that, but even still, usually nah, I'm still fine. There is one thing about my gear that I do want to point out that may make what I'm doing feel a little bit easier than how you're doing it. Because I have a particular stat that is different than most people. On my amulet, unlike most people who just run life on hit, I actually have chaos damage leech on my amulet. Just by chance, really. Right here. Tier 1, 49.49% chaos damage as leech. Honestly, when I got that amulet, and my survivability went up, my recovery went up like really high, and I already had 16 life per hit on a ring. But there's a big difference between life on hit and actual leech, as anyone who's really played the game probably knows that already. You really see that recovery instantaneously. It's not like there's no sort of choppiness to it. Life on hit is very choppy. Your health pool going up and down, chop, chop, chop. Leech, you could be standing in burning ground and lava pool and stuff, and your health just stays at full because you're constantly hitting stuff. Pretty incredible, actually. Take a look at the spawn here. So there's 2 separate lanes. One is offering 3 chests, the other is offering 8. So that is empirical evidence of mitogenic working in grand fashion, because the lanes actually split evenly. Normally this would be 3 and 3, or in this case 3 and 4, where the boss chest is giving the extra one. But I got at a bare minimum of 4 mitogenic Watchstone procs off of this map alone. I know that because it's got a bonus 4 on the right side on the boss portal. Now, hopefully, I get the Blight chest on the right side, but I didn't. I actually got it on both, so that's lucky. Yeah, that's lucky. But anyway, yeah, let's see if I can get any maps here. Yeah, 2. So RNG seems like it's evening out a bit. I'm actually a bit disappointed. I've only gotten 2 Deliriums to spawn. And 1 I forgot to loot anything from. Unless I get some big item here, though. What you're going to see here is the very typical run. RNG being pretty even out. No weird big items. Did not get an Exalt drop. Did not get, you know, like, I don't know, some kind of unique worth half an Exalt or whatever. I've not gotten a single item that's sort of out of place or unusual in a farming strategy or lucky or whatever. It's just very consistent flow of maps. You know, actually, I think I've actually been quite unlucky when it comes to oils. I don't think I've gotten at least some opalescent. I don't. Maybe I got silver. I definitely have not gotten a golden oil yet, which usually in 1 hour farming, I'm probably gonna find like 1 golden oil, but I haven't so far. So that's, you know, I mean, that's down 40 to 50 chaos there. But that's all right, because so this is going to be the last map. I've done only 21 maps, so we're going to check the profits after this map and see what I had. Where's the other one? Oh, down there. This is kind of a dangerous situation because I have to stand near the fire. I'm gonna have to stand near the fire, I think, yeah. Well, so I gotta be a little bit on my toes here. Actually, if I die, I don't really care because I just leveled and you can see my health, what's happening in my health, it's still staying full. I'm standing in all kinds of crap right now and it's still hanging out at full. It is now 4:12, so really, after this map, we're done. Dunzo. As far as checking. The currency per hour, I do believe I've hit 1,000. Yeah, I actually know I've hit 1,000 chaos per hour. It says it on the bottom right. It's 1,028 chaos per hour. That's with the map previously. Not even counting what I find here, which is actually a silver oil. Okay, silver oil, I guess that's something. Yeah. So for the rest of this, I'm actually going to switch over to scene 1 so you can see. We got here. I am going to finish running these. If I take a snapshot right now. Okay, I made 1,048 chaos, and it says there per hour. This is right at the hour mark, 1,048 chaos, and there it is. I mean, it's right there. That's how much chaos I made in 1 hour. That is, I believe, including the drop. Sorry, the cost, the initial cost of losing the Scarabs and maps, or using them rather. I will go and double check that, but I believe that's counting that. Because my net worth has gone like negative in the beginning and now it's back up positive. We'll see how that turns out in a minute. The important thing is you're able to see 1,000 chaos per hour down there. You should be giving you the proof you need. You saw me loot the Headhunter, you saw me sell the maps in bulk, you see me do 1 hour farming, you see 1,000 chaos per hour, along with everything else I said. I mean, hopefully that provides some good value to you guys. This would have been actually way better to do like in the first couple weeks when Exalt's worth a lot more. And Blighted maps were still going... Blighted maps actually were going for a little bit higher in the first couple weeks. They were selling for 20 to 25 chaos apiece, not like 18 chaos apiece. So I could have made the Headhunter in like week 1, honestly, if I really, or at least by week 2, if I really had sort of really dawned on me just how powerfully consistent this strategy is. Maps and Scarabs are worth a lot less too, actually. Well, maybe not maps, but Scarabs are worth less than they are now at the time. So the prep work was actually cheaper. I think we got 2 maps left to do to close this little session out. That's right. I'd like to see a Delirium spawn. That would make me happy. One might be wondering why I'm not running Caustic Arrow. I did try Caustic Arrow, actually. And the problem is, it's just, there's no reason to run it. Like, if I want to, I can kill everything on the go by just right-clicking periodically anyway. At least with Carcass Jack, I got so much AoE that it just... I hit everything anyway on the screen, and the screen's not so, and you know, it's not a wide open map, so I really am hitting everything with just Toxic Rain. Then when it comes to, like, you know, nuking a portal and a boss spawning, sometimes it was dying a little slower than I liked. It was definitely dying more slowly. Things like this is just so well set up for Toxic Rain. Something like this in particular. Well, I think this is a really fast one. Already done. Some kind of issue with pathing, and my character keeps moving. I don't want him to. The boss portal extends the encounter a bit, which I talked about in my second video. It's making it last longer than it would otherwise. That's one map. A few more Blighted maps. Last map, here we go. Come on, Delirium. Gotta give me a Delirium. I certainly deserve it, statistically speaking, and no. Didn't get it. Oh, but Cassia's right next to the entrance. It's the best place for her to spawn. Unfortunately, not a single lane, but I do have 12 chests here, so that's nice. Get my portal set up. The one on the bottom right's far more dangerous because it's such a close distance and there's no actual major choke point. So we got the temporal tower down there. I will even upgrade these minion towers a little bit to help block. And we can focus a little more on the top left. If you watched through this whole thing, you probably noticed there was never a point where I really almost died. When I was doing the Delirium stuff in the Scourge realm, I was obviously taking a little bit more damage, but really, I mean, it was just almost never at risk of dying. And like I said before, I do die occasionally. It does happen. But it's fairly rare. Oh, this is one of the worst chests. Yeah. So I really do think you guys could level pretty consistently. Pretty consistent leveling doing this. while earning currency, while not, you know, I'm kind of focused on running as efficiently as possible, but I mean, you don't have to do that. You can take it easy, and you can just do 5x an hour, just kind of being casual about it. All right, so that's it. That's basically all there is with the farming. Let's see the results. Take one last snapshot. I don't think it actually caught the new stuff in there, or maybe it was truly worth nothing. The last one actually didn't have anything. But okay, we got 1,052 chaos per hour. And yeah, I started with excellence with my maps and scarabs already in the folder, so that came out negative at the start when I pulled out all the scarabs and everything. But I mean, there's all the proof you need. That's 1,052 chaos per hour. I feel perfectly confident advertising this strategy is 1,000 chaos per hour net income. Yeah, it's gonna get you a headhunter in 2 days. I mean, if you really put your mind to it. It got me a headhunter pretty quickly. And yeah, I don't know what strategies you guys are doing. I hope you're finding success doing whatever you're doing. Let me know in the comments if you are and what it is. I'd be curious to find out. The very last thing I'll do before I close this video out is I'm going to count how many blighted maps I got. In 24 maps, I could get on average at least 50 blighted maps. Somewhere between 50 and 60 blighted maps probably. Let's see what we got. Yep. I'd say right about the right amount. So that's oh no. Oh wow. Actually a tiny bit under. A tiny bit under the average, I think. I got 49 blighted maps. That is still technically more than two blighted maps per map, as I ran 24 maps, resulting in 49 blighted maps. Still pretty close to the thing. Let's see how many golden oils did I got. Oh, I got 0, so that was bad RNG slightly. Silver oils, only 1. I usually get at least 2. Opalescent, about 5, so that's about a normal amount of opalescent oils. Crimson, I got 6 crimson. So I got a little bit on the bad RNG side on the oils. And the Delirium encounters especially, definitely on the bad RNG side. I only got to make use of 1. I spawned it twice. Should spawn it on average probably 4 times, actually, with all the nodes I have. In 24 maps, I think with 17% chance per map, should see it about 4 times in 24 maps. So I only saw it twice. I only looted it once. So that's kind of bad. But I did get a Scarab Blight one, which you're only going to see like 1 in 100 maps. And again, no Exalted Orb, no major drops. I mean, I got an Imperial Staff, unique staff that's worth like 3C or something. So yeah, nothing major in here. So that's it. That's the video. And the last video I plan to make on Blight. I think the next video is going to be probably back to T6 tower farming. I did find some interesting information that I'm not seeing anywhere else about how to sort of spruce that up. To give you a little hint, basically guarantee you 300 stacks of Scourge before the last floor, actually. Maybe before the half of the map. So show you guys how that's done. In case you weren't aware, it is an extremely powerful strategy. The next one I'm going to do, and the meta, it's giving people at maximum Scourge count essentially a 100,000% quantity multiplier, if I'm not mistaken. I'll double check on that, but I do believe it's multiplicative with everything else. For example, if you have 300 Scourge stacks and you have an inherent 200% quantity, that's 200 times 600, which is 120,000% quantity, potentially. So I'll check that out. But I'm going to close the stream here now. I'm going to get some food. And again, I hope this video brought some good information to you. You got to see it live. Not live, but you got to see it recorded. Me earning exactly the amount of currency I was earning the whole time, 6 to 7x per hour at the current rates. And yeah, that's it. So thank you for watching, and stay tuned for the next video.